All right, everybody, welcome out to another episode of Windshield Time at Mountainland Supply. I'm Joey. I'm here with our CEO, Brandon.
Hey, everyone.
And we're here with Spencer Schwartz.
Yes, you are.
I'm so glad to see you today.
Yeah, I know.
Just because of that, you get...
Your eyes lit up when I
4
walked in the
seconds.
room.
Yeah. What are you going to do with this 3 extra seconds?
I'm going to just say,
And
this
you're
is
done.
going to be a good one.
Okay. So it's that time of year. We're just past Halloween. We're getting into the holiday season. There's a few things that kind of mark the holiday season for me.
By the way,
First snow of the year.
I was going to say, today it's snowing. It looks like a blizzard out
Yeah,
there.
first snow of the year.
It's kind of crazy.
My mom texted me last weekend because it snowed in where she lives, and she said, I couldn't help it. I had to put Andy Williams on, most wonderful time of the year. So she has these old records, and so she threw that on. So that's another one. So snow, Andy Williams, and the third one, peak performers.
Oh, yeah.
And when we're doing peak performers, when we're talking about that, I always know, hey, we're getting close to holiday season.
It's that time of the year again.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Peak Performer Program. And I think we should probably give people a little bit of background on why we started doing it. That'll probably help them. So Peak Performers is all based on when we have wonderful employees, great employees that do discretionary effort. They do above and beyond their call, right?
Yep.
And so we ask managers to just keep watching that throughout the year. And then every manager at the company gets to nominate somebody in the company to get the award for peak performer.
Yep.
And then all those nominees get something at our year-end party, right? As we've grown, it's gotten to be very, very big. I think this year we have between 50 and 60 peak performers, right?
Yeah, I thought the number was around 65.
Yeah, 65, something like that.
Yeah.
So, that will happen at the end of your party.
That's coming up. And for all you out there, we actually recorded this. It's going to be released after the end of year party. But
Right.
We've actually recorded it beforehand. So
Right.
just don't.
So
You're going to hear us kind of talk about it as it's coming up.
Yeah.
But as you listen to it, it's already happened.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So it's an awesome program, and we want to keep it as long as we can. With scale, it's things just change over time because it makes more sense to change it. In the past, we've done a drawing where a certain amount of those employees that were peak performers get thrown into a drawing, and then some of those get to go on a trip.
Yep.
As we've grown, that trip kind of gets less and less, equitable, right? I guess that's the word, where not as many people can go. There's a ton of nominees, like 65 nominees, and we could only take like 6 or 8 on the trip.
Because the intent behind that was we were trying to keep it pretty intimate.
Yeah.
Right. So that it wasn't a huge group and then, people get lost in it.
Right.
And we wanted, because usually on those we would send Kim McClaws down there, who's our director of HR, and then usually an executive.
Yeah, one of us goes.
Yeah,
and
Ben Meekum has gone in the past. Joey, you've gone in the past.
Yep.
I actually have never attended because it's just my schedule has never lined up. And
Right.
I know that I've been asked to and I've tried to. And anyways, but I've heard great results
awesome.
from it. It's been phenomenal.
Yep.
But we've always tried to keep it really intimate so that those peak performers who are on that trip can have kind of more intimate time with, those certain people, with
Right.
with our leadership team and stuff like that, and also kind of relax on it. And, it's we've also kind of looked at it as, I'm a very metrics guy. I'm an analytical guy. And so it's kind of saying, okay, what's the metric? Or if we have this many finalists, this is how many we're going to take. And that's kind of how we've done it in the past is we've taken a certain percentage on that trip. And that number those finalists just keep getting more and more and more. And so this trip if we keep going down that metric, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, and what people don't realize about travel is as you add more people to any itinerary or any trip, your prices go up.
Yep.
So as you do group travel, we do lots of group travel for our peak reward program. The larger the group, the more it costs per person to go.
Yep.
And so if we're looking at it from a metric or even just an enjoyment standpoint, we can't offer the level of trip that we normally could because it just gets more and more expensive as you add more people. So the trip was going to become more diluted. It would just be like, yeah, we're going to, Mexico, but we can't do as many excursions because it just doesn't, we want to be very responsible with the company funds.
Yep. And it's just like what you said, it's counterintuitive.
It is. Travel is, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And I remember when I started getting more into that and the negotiations of the travel that we do for our customers and stuff like that, I was just kind of like, oh, that doesn't make sense. But then you start thinking about just even airlines getting group fares.
Yeah.
The airlines look at that and say, well, you're going to take up all these tickets that I would maybe get a higher fare on, so therefore I'm going to make you pay for it.
Exactly.
I'm going to get the revenue that I'm going to get the revenue from.
And then the people who are buying 1 or 2 tickets they are getting the benefit of the larger group that's booking on that flight.
Exactly.
Because theirs is smaller.
And then the hotel looks at the same thing and saying,
thing.
hey, well, we could have sold these rooms for a little bit higher, so if you really want them, then we're going to charge you a little bit more for
Excursions are the same way because now you have to book out, say, a full boat if you're doing a catamaran.
Yep.
So you're paying more per person. So it just gets, it's not unmanageable, but it just doesn't, it doesn't match what our intent was.
But it does get a little bit harder too to manage.
For sure.
Like even on the travel side of it, getting down there, things of that nature. Now you're hurting more people. And so it just gets a little bit more difficult. So as this year, as everybody's probably heard already because you're listening after the year-end party, we did make some modifications to it. So that's why we're talking about today is you're hearing us allude to it, but we've made modifications. So going back leading up to that, as we saw how many finalists we had this year, and we keep getting more and more because first of all, we keep getting more managers, department heads, things of that nature, and allowing more people to do that.
And just employees in general.
Exactly. And we want to try and make it so that it's still an elite group.
Yep.
It's a high-performing group. These are the people that go above and beyond, like Joey, you've mentioned. They're also the ones that live our core values.
Yep.
They expressively live our core values.
Yep.
You see it day in and day out with these people.
Yep.
And guess what? There are more and more people that are doing that within our company. And so we keep getting more and more names.
Yep.
And so this year it came apparent to us that, hey, we have a huge list, more than we've ever had before. And if we do the metrics that we've done in the past, then this is going to get a little bit unwieldy. Like it's going to take a little bit more. The cost is going to go through the roof a little bit on this. And so, and the other thing too that I really had a hard time with is these people, the people that don't go on the trip, you get a jacket, which is phenomenal. You get recognized. That's phenomenal. But
that's it.
Yep. And we want to touch more people with this program.
Yep.
And we want to make sure that it's scalable for the future. We want to make sure that as we have more and more finalists, that they do feel, I guess, the love that we have for them and the appreciation that we have for them. And we want to make them feel special. And we felt like the way that this program was going with how big it was getting into trying to get those goals, continuing with that trip every year just wasn't helping us attain that goal, that expectation that we had.
It wasn't matching our intent. Our intent was to make everybody feel a great reward for a great effort. And so we've changed it a little bit. And, just like every program, it probably will change again at some point.
Yeah.
When we started the Peak Reward or the Peak Performer program, it was less than 400 employees at the company.
Yep.
And now we're over 1,000. We're close to 1,100 employees. And so you just, as you scale up, you have to modify some things and make sure it still works.
Yeah. Well, and, we try our best at looking into the future. We don't have a crystal ball. I wish we did. I would pay a lot of money for a crystal ball. Because it'd help us make a lot better decisions sometimes. But, we try and look into the future as the best that we can.
Yeah.
And forecast and say, okay, is this, when we make decisions for the company, not just for this program, but anything that we do, we're always like, is it scalable? Is this, in 5 years when we're 1,500 or we're 1,700 employees, is this program still going to be effective? Will it still match our intent?
Yeah.
And so when we make decisions, we're always trying to say, we think this is the best decision to help that.
Yeah.
And, when we first started out, honestly, we didn't know. We didn't expect what we had the last 5 years of doing this. And now it's to a size that, I think if I knew this 5 years ago, I probably would have said, hey, let's tweak it a little bit. Let's let's maybe do it a little bit different here, so that we can have that. But we just didn't have that at the time. And so now we're making some changes. And to your point, Joe, in 4 or 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, who knows if we get in, we change substantially again, we might make another change to this program as well. But as of right now, what we feel is this is the best one. So what you're seeing, and the program was described at the end of your party was, hey, every finalist now is not only getting a jacket, you're not only getting recognized, but we're also going to give you a monetary reward as well with this. And that's everybody's going to get $250 gift card.
Yep.
Which I think is awesome. And I love the timing of it when it comes out, because now we're in the holidays.
Yep.
That's something that a little bit extra. We recognize that, a lot of you got bills coming up, you got Christmas coming up, holidays, things of that nature, whatever. That $250, we feel like could go a long ways in helping this group. And then on top of that too, what I thought was really cool is because we recognize, and I love seeing these, you see people with multiple nominations.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And so what that means is there's multiple managers, multiple department heads that have recognized this one person, and they've nominated this one person to be a peak performer this year.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Well, and this year we have 10 of them.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
It's phenomenal.
So then those 10 are going to get $1,000 on top of it, which is awesome.
Exactly. And I think, as we discussed it within our group, with Kim McClaws, it was one of those that we really want to reward those, because in my mind, in my perspective, if you have multiple nominations, that means you've gone like even above and beyond this. We already have this elite group. Now you've gone even farther above that one.
Well, and we ask the managers as they nominate to look outside their own branch or their own department.
Yep.
So if a person's nominated more than one time, that means that multiple departments or branches are seeing that this person shows our core values. They live our core values. They go above and beyond to help people, and that deserves a larger reward.
Yep.
So to give them an extra $1,000 gift card, it's totally appropriate.
Very much so.
And that really follows our intent of what we wanted to do. We wanted to make sure that these people who are really kind of the best among us are getting rewarded for being that way.
Yep. And these are the people in our eyes this group is helping shape our culture.
Yep.
And maintain our culture.
Yep.
They're leading out as examples of our culture. So everybody else is seeing them and hopefully mimicking what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're following their example of this, and they're trying to live our core values as well. So,
well, and then it's not a game of chance either.
No.
Before it was like, you're nominated multiple times, so you get that many more chances in the drawing to go on a trip. Now it's definitive. You get multiple nominations, you get the reward for that.
Yep.
Automatically. It's not a game of chance.
Yep.
And that really follows what we're trying to do.
Yep.
So
it's been a great program to have. And I would tell you, when we first talked about it a few years ago, it's most of you know this. I don't like the frou-frou stuff. And, because I am an accountant, I have that accounting background, and I'm always asking, well, tell me what my ROI is. Tell me what my ROI is. If we're going to expend this kind of money, what's the ROI for the company on this? And so when we do programs like this, I'm a little bit maybe more skeptical about what the outcome is on that. Fortunately, I'm surrounded by some phenomenal people that help me see the light of some of these programs and what we do. And this one was I wasn't a naysayer against it. I don't want people to think that, or I was a hard no. I probably was a little bit more inquisitive and a little bit more skeptical of, will this really meet our intent? And I would say it's totally exceeded that.
Yeah.
I think seeing the people, their faces, how excited they get, things of that nature. But then I also see how proudly they wear that jacket too. And then not
throughout
only
the year,
throughout the whole entire year, for years actually. Yeah. And we've had some, I think I'm already saying this, we've had some hideous jackets in the past. So I'm just going to put that out there that I've looked at a few. I'm like, I don't know if I would wear that one, but you guys have worn them. And I think they're cooler now. Kim does a phenomenal job of finding those out and getting them all sourced, which is, by the way, a huge task that she does, coordinating all that. But, you guys wear it so proudly, but then also seeing the other people in our company recognize that and point that out, and hearing them talk about it.
Yeah.
These people that are the peak performers, I'm like, okay, I didn't see that. I'm glad other people did see that. I'm glad we do have this program. It's exceeded my expectations. And now, even this year when we've talked about it, like, I'm wholeheartedly behind it and saying, yeah, we can't get rid of this program.
Yep.
We got to continue this program. Let's tweak it. Instead of getting rid of it, let's tweak it, make it more scalable. Let's make it a little bit so that it's benefits more people that actually make that list. So it encourages more people to strive to get on that list. That's
Right.
what we want.
Yep. So I guess we just want to say thank you to the peak performers. Thank you, everybody. You've already been recognized in front of the whole company, but just from us, thank you.
Oh man. So if you went to the end of year party, and again, we're recording this before, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, whatever you want to say. And so you didn't hear it from me that I get to congratulate you, but man, on this one, this is huge. And I mean, this group, I'm so proud of. Yeah. They are the cream of the crop. They are the top 0.1% of people here.
Yep.
And they're the high performers, and I couldn't be even more proud of what they're doing and where they're going. So, and honestly, it's my appreciation to them for doing what they do. I know it's not easy. I know that it's hard sometimes it's easy to slip up or not live our core values sometimes. And, you have opportunities that come around that it might be easier to do it the other way, but you choose to do it the right way.
Yeah.
Keep our noses clean, be those types of people, be the examples, be our future leaders. Honestly, I really appreciate it. And it's these type of people, because often people think that, culture is derived from us.
Nope.
It's not. You got that backwards. It's you guys. It's everybody else. It's all of our employees.
Yep.
It's this group. It's our management group. It's everybody. It takes all of us to get that culture in this group. You have a major part of that. So my appreciations to you, my gratitude. Thank you so much for being who you are.
Yeah. So thank you all. And that's about it.
Yep.
We'll see you guys down the road.
Have a good
Thanks
one.
for jumping in. See ya.